In the midst of the hustle and bustle of everyday life, anxiety settles in like a shadow that obscures the clarity of our thoughts and diverts attention from what really matters. This feeling, which often manifests itself silently, is a reflection of fear of the unknown and concern about an uncertain future. However, this same restlessness can be transformed into an opportunity for spiritual renewal and personal growth when guided by faith. Anxiety arises when the mind gets lost in imaginary scenarios, where each thought becomes a possible challenge to face. This experience can generate a feeling of paralysis and insecurity, making dreams and achievements seem distant. However, when we recognize that the future is beyond our control, we give rise to a new perspective, the confidence that there is a greater plan orchestrated by a God who knows every detail of our journey. Surrendering your worries in prayer is an effective way to transform anxiety into serenity. In moments of doubt, taking time for sincere dialogue with the divine allows us to regain inner calm and renew hope. This practice, which goes beyond a mere ritual, is an act of courage and self-knowledge, which invites us to abandon the illusion of control and trust that each step is guided by greater wisdom. By meditating on uncertainty, it is possible to realize that every challenge can be an invitation to transformation. Faith does not eliminate difficulties, but it offers the necessary tools to face them with determination and resilience. In this sense, anxiety stops being an obstacle and becomes a starting point to build a fuller life aligned with divine purpose. Thus, each day becomes an opportunity to rediscover the peace and security that comes from sincerely surrendering our fears. By understanding that the future, no matter how uncertain it may seem, is already in the hands of a God who takes care of every detail, we can transform anxiety into a drive for self-development. True serenity comes when we let go of the need to control everything and begin to trust in divine providence, thus finding the courage to live each moment with faith and purpose. Worry sometimes reveals itself as an unnecessary waste of energy, distracting us from what really matters. Instead of transforming challenges into opportunities, it traps us in a vicious cycle of doubts and uncertainties. By recognizing the futility of worry, we are led to abandon the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable and redirect our energy toward personal and spiritual growth. When we surrender to the weight of uncertainty, we invest time and energy in thoughts that do not alter the natural course of events. This constant worry can turn simple problems into mountains of anxiety, damaging our ability to see solutions and opportunities. Understanding this dynamic is the first step to breaking the habits that prevent us from living fully. The practice of conscious surrender appears as a powerful alternative to neutralize the impact of worry. By ceasing to insist on absolute control of events, we allow peace to settle in our hearts. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but rather an act of courage that recognizes the limits of our power and leaves room for divine intervention. Instead of wasting energy on what we cannot change, we are invited to redirect our energy toward actions that promote well-being and personal growth. Every moment of worry can be seen as a warning to practice surrender and faith. By transforming anxious thoughts into sincere prayers, we rediscover the power of prayer as a means to reconnect with the divine. This transformation not only soothes the mind, but also guides us to focus on the present, valuing the small victories of everyday life. In this way, the energy that was previously consumed by worry is redirected to building a solid foundation of faith and resilience. By recognizing the futility of worry, we are invited to let go of the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. Giving up anxieties in prayer and accepting the divine plan not only frees our minds, but also strengthens our ability to live lightly and purposefully. This change in perspective is the basis of a life where faith and serenity become true transformative forces. Trust in God is the foundation that transforms challenges into opportunities and uncertainties into hope. Cultivating this trust illuminates our steps and strengthens our faith, even in the moments of greatest vulnerability. Trusting God means recognizing that, although the paths of life may seem dark and uncertain, there is a greater force that guides every detail of our journey. This trust does not require an absence of doubt, but rather the courage to surrender our fears and anxieties to the divine. By accepting that we do not have control over all events, we open space for the intervention of a higher wisdom, which guides us with love and protection. To strengthen this trust, it is important to reserve daily moments for an intimate dialogue with God, where each prayer becomes a gesture of surrender and reaffirmation of faith. Furthermore, meditating on biblical passages and life experiences helps us transform doubt into serene confidence, capable of illuminating the most challenging moments. Trusting God is also acting with courage, knowing that each step taken with the awareness that there is a greater plan strengthens our resilience and drives us to live with purpose, even when the answers seem far away. Every obstacle we encounter can be seen as an opportunity to reaffirm our divine trust. When we allow difficulties to become learning moments, our faith solidifies and challenges stop being barriers and become steps towards spiritual growth. Thus, trust in God is manifested not as a guarantee of the absence of problems, but as the certainty that, even in the midst of storms, there is always a path of light to follow. The certainty that the future is under the watchful eye of God offers transformative encouragement, even in the midst of uncertainty. Recognizing that God is in charge of the future allows us to see beyond human limitations. Understanding that the divine has already planned every detail, we begin to trust that every challenge and every opportunity is part of a larger design. This perspective transcends anxiety, because by giving up our plans and expectations, we relinquish the burden of absolute control and embrace the serenity that comes from trust in a greater purpose. To reinforce the feeling that the future is safe in the hands of the divine, surrender in prayer becomes a sacred space where we express our doubts and fears, transforming them into trust. Meditating on inspiring passages of Scripture strengthens this conviction and turns every moment of doubt into an opportunity to reaffirm faith. Observing the small miracles and interventions in everyday life allows us to recognize that each event, no matter how challenging, contributes to a greater purpose. Understanding that God controls the future transforms our view of challenges and adversities. Instead of getting lost in anxiety, we begin to see each difficulty as a protective detour that brings us closer to a safer and more light-filled path. Giving up our desire to control the uncontrollable is an act of faith that frees us to experience true inner peace and spiritual growth. By embracing this idea, we take a decisive step towards serenity and confidence, knowing that every detail of our lives is under the guidance of a loving God. Biblical reflections serve as an anchor and inspiration for those seeking to understand and confront life's uncertainties. The teachings of Scripture offer us passages that reaffirm divine sovereignty and care, reminding us that worrying about the future is futile, as each day provides the opportunity to experience God's grace and peace. As we meditate on these verses, we are invited to surrender our anxieties and trust that the divine cares for every detail of our existence. Passages such as those that remind us not to worry about tomorrow and to place our worries in God's hands reinforce the message that true security lies in faith. As we reflect on these teachings, we are inspired to transform restlessness into serenity and to recognize that the future, even if uncertain, is safe in the hands of the Creator. This understanding does not eliminate challenges, but it transforms the way we face them, revealing opportunities for spiritual growth and inner renewal. Surrendering concerns represents an act of faith and freedom. Releasing the burden of anxiety and trusting in the divine plan can transform the way we face daily challenges, promoting a life of peace and purpose. Continually carrying uncertainties and fears about the future creates a weight that suffocates the soul and blocks personal growth. Many times we get trapped in a cycle of anxious thoughts, which exhaust our energy and distance us from the possibility of living the present with intensity and joy. Giving up worries does not mean ignoring challenges, but rather recognizing that there are aspects of life that are beyond our control. This practice involves accepting our limits and trusting that each situation has its time and place in the divine order. Talking to God and transforming anxiety into serenity through prayer allows inner peace to flourish, renewing our hope and encouraging us to act with more awareness. By stopping trying to control the uncontrollable, we direct our energy toward actions that promote well-being and personal growth, releasing stress and strengthening our connection with the divine. Prayer is the link that connects us directly to the divine, offering a space of refuge, relief, and renewal. It is not just a ritual, but a sincere dialogue between the human heart and the presence of God. When praying, we express our joys, fears, doubts, and gratitude, allowing each feeling to become an act of surrender. This connection reinforces the certainty that we are not alone and that there is a greater plan that guides each of our steps. Setting aside moments for prayer provides a refuge where the mind finds rest and relief from the clouds of anxiety. Each prayer strengthens the conviction that, even in adversity, we are sustained by unwavering love. Furthermore, dialogue with God through prayer helps us discern priorities and redirect our efforts, paving the way toward clarity and direction, which are reflected in concrete and transformative actions. Prayer, when cultivated with sincerity and regularity, transforms restlessness into serenity and doubt into conviction. This sacred dialogue strengthens faith and illuminates the path, providing the clarity necessary to face everyday challenges with courage, hope, and determination. Life's challenges arise unexpectedly and can awaken feelings of insecurity and anxiety. However, every obstacle is also an opportunity to learn, grow, and reaffirm faith. Seeing difficulties not as insurmountable barriers, but as essential steps to building a solid spiritual path, allows us to draw valuable lessons and develop resilience. Each challenge reveals our limitations and, at the same time, drives us to seek solutions and strengthen our determination. By recognizing that each obstacle is part of a broader process, we transform adversity into learning, expanding our capacity to face future difficulties with serenity and optimism. Self-confidence, reinforced by the support of loved ones and the insight acquired in moments of introspection, transforms each challenge into an opportunity for evolution. When paths seem confusing and anxiety arises, divine intervention is revealed as a beacon that redirects our steps and protects our hearts. Unexpected detours in life can often be interpreted as signs of protection and guidance, inviting us to let go of fear of the unknown and trust that we are being guided toward a destiny of greater growth and well-being. By observing the small signs, moments of reassessment, unexpected interventions, and the feeling of inexplicable inner peace, we learn to recognize that each change of route can be a manifestation of divine care. Reflecting on these moments, praying for discernment, and sharing experiences with close people reinforces the certainty that deviations are, in fact, opportunities for reorientation and evolution. Joining the community of faith makes the spiritual journey even more meaningful. Living faith together reminds us that each individual has a unique role in building an environment of mutual support and learning. Sharing personal experiences, both moments of improvement and challenges faced, strengthens ties of support and inspires collective actions that transform adversity into growth. Talking and exchanging experiences with those who share similar values enriches our understanding and motivates us to seek solutions to everyday challenges. Participating in meetings, prayer groups, Bible studies, and spiritual events creates an environment conducive to strengthening faith and developing a collective vision that highlights the transformative potential of togetherness. Joining forces in community transforms faith into a living force, where each experience becomes learning and each challenge is overcome with mutual help. This support network not only strengthens the individual journey, but also builds a collective legacy of love, wisdom, and transformation, showing that, together, we can travel a path full of light, love, and purpose. Throughout this journey, themes were explored that invite us to transform anxiety into faith, worry into surrender, and challenges into opportunities for growth. Each stage of this journey reveals essential aspects of a life guided by trust in God and the power of prayer, demonstrating that, even in the face of uncertainty, there's a divine purpose prepared for each of us. Now we invite you to reflect: how many times has anxiety prevented us from noticing the blessings already present? How about turning fear of the unknown into an impulse to seek divine protection and guidance? The challenge is to take action, dedicating a few minutes a day to sincere prayer and sharing these testimonies with the community, inspiring others to abandon the weight of anxiety and embrace a life full of faith and purpose. Each step taken with courage and confidence is a seed of transformation that blossoms into experiences of improvement and learning. By recognizing that the future remains in God's hands, we discover that true freedom lies in trusting in divine wisdom, transforming each challenge into a chapter of personal victory. The final message is to carry forward this commitment of faith and personal transformation, allowing each word to become action and illuminate our own path and that of those around us. The future, full of surprises and achievements, has already been carefully prepared by a God who loves us. So, embrace the certainty that what you fear has already been resolved and transform your reality with faith, courage, and determination. Thank you for following this journey of reflection and transformation. May the peace and light of God be always present, guiding each step and renewing hope in each new dawn.